This one's going to be a little bit of a different video because I want to talk about my experience. I think my experience is a very important one. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe if you wish to. This could be one video, it could be two. I don't know how long it's going to go on for. Um, Let me go back to the start a little bit. I'm talking about my experience in this last 6 months, basically. During October, I have a horrible month. It's the month that my it's around the month when my nan and granddad died. My dad died on my birthday a few years back. That's October the 18th. And there's lots of other little knock-on effects, and I always plummet mentally in and around October. I always struggle really badly with that because it is hella difficult. My brain has not got over these issues, and I don't think it ever will. To put on top of that, we then went out on a holiday start of November, and I was like, great, this is not helping me right now. And I was like, okay, fair enough. And then from about then, my head was in a bad place, and I was on the verge of taking my own life at that point. I got the pills out and everything, and I didn't. I didn't do it. Did I want to die on that day? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I 100%. When I say I wanted to die, I wanted to die. It wasn't attention or anything like that, and I think that's really important to mention. Roll that on 2-3 months later. So we get past Christmas. We spend Christmas away. I don't stream over Christmas, and everything, so on and so forth. And then coming back, nothing felt right in my head. Nothing felt solid. Nothing felt well. Um, Everything was just not making me paranoid because things I now know. But it was just my head was working faster than I really ever would want it to, and I think when I started putting two and two together with certain things, it began to get to me more and more. And then that led to something which happened, and I wanted to end. And I had picked a time and a day which I knew I had about a 16 to 18 hour window in, with the animals being safe afterwards because somebody would come and they would be able to look after the animals, and I wouldn't have the worry that the animals anything would happen to the animals in a bad manner. So I'd figured it all out and everything, and as I say, I'd spiraled and hit that low that I didn't want to seek help anymore. I mean, a lot of my friends had tried in their own way, and that was fine. Don't think they spotted how bad it had got, and I think that it may have come to a surprise to some of them. And I I get it. People say often about being in low mood and stuff like that. So I understand it. I understand why none of them was like, right, tell you what, we're gonna jump on the phone and say the questions which we've mentioned previously. And I think at that point, I needed that. I needed that friend who, because I wasn't going to phone a random person. I needed that friend who went on the website, got some questions, and just figured everything out and talked me through a little bit. And if needed be, sat with me while I talked to 111, for example. I just think that would have been progressive. I think that would have helped, but that didn't happen. And I just felt without support. And I know my friends tried, and I honestly know my friends tried, and I don't hold that against them. But 100%, on the day I tried to commit suicide, I wanted to be dead. I wanted to end my life. I did not see a future. And that's fine to admit. As I say, I'll always respect it if you ever admit that to me, because I've been there and it is hard to get through. So I was talking to a therapist recently, And I was saying about how I've got like a devil and an angel on my shoulder. My devil's like, you're useless, no one cares, no one wants to be near you, nobody likes you. And when you get that, when your brain gets a little pushback from a friend or somebody who you're romantically involved with, that part of your brain gets so much stronger. You deserve to be abused. They'll be gone like everybody else is. Nobody loves you. Nobody can love you. And that's all I could hear from that side of my head. Now, the good side of my head, this angel on my shoulder, is like, keep going, keep trying, keep smiling, fake it till you make it kind of thing. Um, just breathe, take a step back, just go sit down, do nothing, meditate, etc. so forth. To the point of using, we've mentioned it in a previous video, to a point of where I was using like distraction techniques like alcohol. And that's absolutely fine to use in a short term period of time because it can help you. And you know what? That's what my therapist said as well. But on that day, my the angel on my shoulder was just exhausted. It had been battered and bruised, and it even got to the point where I had more alcohol, which I would have usually taken to just knock me out and like stop the voices. But it didn't tell me to get another one. It just was like and it just like kind of packed up like a computer running out of battery. Um, it was there was multiple things I think that piled on, friendships, relationships, um, as well as streaming and stuff like that. Like you look at streaming numbers sometimes, and it can get you down. Even if you don't really look at streaming numbers properly, it can get you down a little bit. But it's fine, and but that only ever gets to me when there's lots of other stuff getting to me. So I don't. I respect everyone. I respect everyone. I love you all for coming in, tuning in. But I want to be honest here because I think it's really, really important. Um, I did try and contact people on the day. I did try and contact people and be like, I'm feeling really low. I need help. I need, and I guess no one really answered. No one, and that's fine. I don't hold it against them one bit. Um, I'd already decided a day or so before that I decided that I was going to take a break from streaming. So then streaming was out the window. So I didn't have that to look forward to anymore because of my own decisions to pause streaming. And everything just kept piling on. I took an overdose of pills, and I'm not proud of that. Um, I'm willing to say I did it. I'm willing to say the reasons why I did it, and I wouldn't advise anyone to do it. I'd advise people to get help and make the correct phone calls. And I think that's the most important thing. It's really, really important to get that help and make those phone calls because it pushes people away, if anything else, and it makes what's already fragile in your head. If you talk too much about your depression, it pushes people away. So you've got to find the right people, and that's why I spoke about previously about finding the right people to contact and talk to, because it is so hard when you're there. It is so hard, and as I say, I don't hold it for or against anybody. Um, so that was when I decided to act. 100%, that's when I decided to act. I had plans beforehand, and you will always be asked if you've got plans when you're in therapy. And my answer to how safe are you, whenever I'm asked, is I don't know. That can change within 5 minutes because it can. You don't know what's going to happen in that next 5 minutes that can make you spiral to make you unsafe in an area. So it's very unfair to ask someone that they promise them that they won't because you never know what's going to happen in the next 2 minutes. Um, and therapists always try to get you safe for the next 7 days, and I was like, I definitely can't promise on that one, can I? But yeah, but I feel in a little bit better place. I want to go on in the next video just about a couple of little bits that like the hours while I was in the hospital and the run up to that. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. This was part one. Have a fantastic one. Goodbye. And yeah, their workings wasn't the greatest, but yeah, I get where they're coming from. I get they care. It's just if you haven't been there, you've never been there, and I think that's something.